What's up, hackers? Welcome to Attack on Tuesday. My name is Taggart, and tonight we are taking on some cross-site scripting using Portswigger's Web Security Academy. What's up, hacker? Good to see you. By the way, Seldon Gardain, Francisco Matos, and Kundan Kumar, thank you so much for the YouTube subscriptions. Really appreciate that. So if you're interested in Portswigger, this is what they are. They create Burp Suite, but they also have amazing training materials. So go ahead and check that out if you haven't. GoPro, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub for Bad at Computers. And the resubscription. Incredible. All right. So let's break some websites tonight. After doing so much of the NIM malware last week, I wanted to get back to my roots. I can't. Oh, my South American languages are awful, but I am glad that you are learning from this stream. Okay. And Paleface88, thank you so much for the follow. Let's start breaking stuff. We should be able to power through these fairly quickly, he said, tempting fate. But we're gonna get into some cross-site scripting. Now, if you've never done any cross-site scripting before, what are we doing? We are going to be using HTML, the language of the web, and JavaScript, the other language of the web, against itself. Basically, what we're going to try to do is get JavaScript code to execute on a web page in ways that it's not supposed to. And we'll talk a little bit about what you can do with cross-site scripting. It's a lot more powerful, I think, than people give it credit for before they get into it. And it's one of my favorite things to test for in my day job. I do a lot of web app pen testing for my work, and it's always interesting to find it, especially when it's mixed with other vulnerabilities, because it can be an amazing part of an attack chain. Okay, so let's get started and see how this thing can work. We're going to start with reflected cross-site scripting into HTML context with nothing encoded. That's a mouthful. But basically what reflected cross-site scripting means is that when we provide parameters to a website through the URL usually, then those parameters can be reflected in the page itself. And when those parameters can produce HTML or JavaScript, now we have ourselves reflected cross-site scripting. So we're going to do access the lab. Now, just a quick note on how I'm setting this up. I, of course, have my Brave browser ready to rock here. I have my second Brave browser set up with my pen testing profile. So a little bit different. So I have everything that I need in my pen testing profile. It's how this is set up. And I have OWASP Zap ready to proxy the traffic that's inside of this profile specifically, so that all the other stuff that I'm doing in my browser doesn't make any extra noise. So to kick off this lab, what I'm going to do, rather than just straight clicking on this, I'm going to right click on this and choose Open Link as Pen Test. Really, really handy thing that Brave, I think Chrome has this now as well. You can open links in different profiles, but I've been using Brave for a minute now, so that's what I'm most used to. So I click Open Link in Pen Test, and now I have that available right here. Of course, I'm not logged in, so great. Very funny. Let's see here. Let me see if I can access the lab and like cut over to it. Am I just not logged in? It's weird. I was logged in before I started the stream. I don't know why that happened. Okay. Let's click on back to lab description. And then let's see if we can kick this off. Let's see if we can kick this off in pen test now. Still no. That's fine. I'll log in here, and then we'll get going. That is how we will do that. happy now. All right, so we're logged in finally. We have this lab going. So what we have a website. We don't know what it's doing yet, but we're going to take a look at it and see what it's doing. Obviously, there's some interaction points here. There's some posts to look at. There's somebody tempting fate on the handlebars of a bicycle. There's a small person skateboarding outside of a video screen. Let's go for our search. I suspect that our search is our first place we're going to look. So whenever I'm doing a test for a search, I'll start off with something, pretty easy to look for, that I can use as a search string across the board. So you can see that whatever I search for here shows up in the page. Easy enough. And let's see if we can very easily, without even looking at the source to check for escapes, let's see if we can get an H1 going. Okay, looks like maybe we can. Now we're going to right-click on this and inspect it. And sure enough, I'm getting a proper, let me zoom that in for you so it's easier to see. Sure enough, we're getting an H1 wrapped around the search string here, which means I have complete control over the DOM, the document object model. So instead of an H1, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it a real basic simple script alert XSS. Now, alert's the common test, and it'll work fine for our purposes, but be aware that that shouldn't be the only test that you perform. And especially alert 1, believe it or not, there are some filters that look for specifically that. And so it can look like you have come up across, actual cross-site scripting prevention, when what you've come up across is naive cross-site scripting prevention. Yeah, you can use document location. You can alert whatever you want. My point is that you actually want to try to alert, not alert. There are some other things you might want to try with script once you have JavaScript code execution, but this is fine to start. Okay, so obviously we already got it. So that's a good start. We got this pop-up. It said XSS. By the way, pen testing pro tip, if you make your pop-up do say something like XSS confirmed, it makes for a really easy screenshot for your report. That's something that I've started doing. So then you can screenshot just the top part of the browser with the pop-up so they can see the URL as well, especially for reflected cross-site scripting. Okay, so that one got marked solved. Awesome. We will leave that alone and move over to, let's reload this and we should see that it is solved now. Awesome. That's reflected cross-site scripting. As I said, we are indeed powering through these. All labs. Reflected XSS into HTML context with most tags and attributes blocked. Okay, so now we're going to have to fight a filter a little bit. No big deal. Your solution must not require any user action. Manually causing print to be called in your own browser will not solve the lab. Okay. To solve the lab, perform a cross-site scripting attack that bypasses the WAF and calls the print function. So there's a print function built in, and that's what we want to use. Okay, so let's see what we're up against. Let's try opening this the same way. See if we can do that. Excellent. That does work. Okay, so I don't think we need the exploit server for this. Maybe we do. So we're going to just do a few tests here. The first one, obviously, is we're going to search for, let's try straight to H1 in this case. Evan Maddox, thank you so much for the YouTube subscription. YouTube's popping off tonight. Tag is not allowed. That's very funny because, I think they mean the actual tag, not my name. Flow Lie, Jerry Champion. Thank you so much for the YouTube's subscriptions. Good Lord. Okay, so obviously that's not going to work out. Let's see if we can, let's see if there are any tags that are allowed. Tag is not allowed. Let's try capitals. That's another good one to try. Okay. Let's try image. You would imagine that this is mostly blocked. Okay. What about SVG? We're just kind of popping through some basic stuff here just to see. The tag is not allowed. Are any tags allowed? Are we going to have to... Ah, interesting. So now what I did was just to see what happens. I gave it 3 less than symbols. And what we got back is 2 of them. So interestingly, and it got rid of test. So anytime it sees something like this, it is filtering out the tag. Now, what I want to know is if it filters out with a null byte. No, it does not. Okay, so that's something to try. All right, so the null byte isn't getting encoded the way that we want, unfortunately. And if we put it here, we're getting tag is not allowed. All right. So we tried SVG. All right, so it's catching tags pretty well. So either we have to be creative with our tags. And it said you can't do user interaction, but this is one that I'll often do. It's catching button too. Right. So let's see. For some inspiration, we might want to go over to our payloads all the things and see if we, let's see, bypass case sensitive. We gave that a shot. Now, I'm pretty sure this won't work because it was matching on the beginning of the string, not the entirety. But we'll give that a shot as well, putting a space and an extra attribute in there just in case. Yeah, no dice there. Oh, we might want to try tricking it. So, for example, uh, so it got rid of this as well as the second one, and leaving us with just the outside brackets. Well, we'll try URL encoding and see if we do okay there. Encode URI component is a really handy function built in here. So we'll try h1 test. See if it's catching these. Indeed it is, which would make sense because the browser's URL encoding that in the first place. Ooh. tag is not allowed. It's definitely going after almost every single tag, but not all, because we were able to get paragraph, right? Oh no, we haven't yet found a tag that it likes. Maybe all tags are not allowed. Yeah. Okay, well, tags are not allowed. Now I'm just sending it noise to see what happens. Yeah, it's getting rid of everything there. Hmm. So let's see. We've tried null byte bypasses. We've tried carriage return line feed. By the way, I should have been a little bit clearer about that. So one of the tricks that I like to do is give it a %0a, which is a carriage return, a line break basically, and that can often break filters. Okay, so putting the carriage return in here actually does work, and you can see the line break here. Unfortunately, it is checking the entire string, so I'm not gonna be able to break the filter that way. Oh, okay. We can try a different Unicode character. That's interesting. Interesting. Although it doesn't really do what we need it to do here. Bypass using cuneiform. Okay. Hmm. All right, we'll try this Unicode stuff. See how that does. Well, we're still getting, mangled tags. Hmm. Any ideas, chat? Checking one of my XSS cheat sheets that I like using. I can't share this one on stream because it is paid material from the XSS rat, but let's try a fake tag. Okay, it blows away the whole thing. So, what does it take to get a bracket on there? So actually, that's fine. But the second that I put a letter in the front of one of these, what happens? Aha! It becomes tag not allowed. The null byte seems to be working, but it's not getting us any actual execution here. Boy, hammered on like the second one. Now I could just like fire off the zap attacker on this and see what happens, but I don't really want to do that. So instead, all right, so what are we looking at here? So we got almost the entire thing. The only... Oh, look at that. Okay, so we put the null byte before the forward slash. That works out okay. So we're getting brackets. The problem is that the null byte is messing with the actual rendering of the tag. Trying to see what quotes do, just in case. Nothing. And it's like literally every tag. And that's the way that the lab was described, right? Was basically it's common XSS vectors. And it was with most tags and attributes blocked. So maybe we really just haven't found the right tag yet. Maybe I'm overthinking this. So image doesn't work. SVG doesn't work, right? Let's see. Input? No. Article? No. Div? Because there's, I mean, we tried italics and italics wasn't taking it, and I feel like that's usually a good sign that you're pretty well protected. Is there something obvious that I'm not thinking of? Let's see. Canvas, maybe. Ooh, or an iframe? Is it possible that an iframe is available? That would be wild if they blocked all these other tags, but they didn't block an iframe. Yeah, okay. Uh, hmm. Okay. I'm annoyed enough at this that I am gonna B6. I'm gonna use our fuzzer a little bit here. All right. Let's fire off this fuzzer and see if we get lucky. So what we're going to look for here is, so the stuff that's the response body, like obviously the stuff that says 20 bytes. Okay, let's just pause it right there because obviously some stuff is getting through. Base, unhelpful though. So we'll continue fuzzing this. I feel like these files are poorly constructed. Yeah, that's not how that's supposed to go. Let's try fuzzing this with something a little bit cleaner. Yeah, I don't want that. I'm going to have to add a processor to this thing. Oh no, those payloads look good. All right, let's just focus on those then. Fire off the fuzzer, see how we do. Why are they like this? Okay. Zap's fuzzer is annoying me. And like literally every tag was filtered, as I recall, right? Hmm. So that's interesting. When it's not a tag, it's replaced with it's just deleted entirely, right? But when it's a real tag, it is blocked with tag not allowed. Hmm. All right, let's take a look at some of their reading materials here to see. Yeah, I mean, that's what we're doing here. Dang, this is a toughie. All right, let's change up the tunes a little bit. There we go. Hmm. Not the most thrilling content. Let's take a look at a little bit of the solution if we can. Ah, so burp intruder, right? They actually want us to fuzz it. Um, okay, so we've done all this already. All right. All we're going to do is look at, so we haven't looked at the full solution here. We're just going to take a look at the XSS cheat sheet that they provide. Interesting. So we are going to copy all their tags to the clipboard here, and we're going to use the fuzzer one more time, but we're going to do it a little bit better. So we're going to fuzz, and we're going to make this our payload location right here. I'm going to add and make it strings, and we're pasting in. Okay, so we're going to test for every single one of these. Now, note that this isn't enough, right? Because these are just the tag names. In order to make this work, what we're going to do is we're going to add a processor with a prefix, and the value is going to be like that. And then we're also going to add a postfix modifier, like so. And that'll give us an actual payload looking thing. Oh my god, what's up everybody? Hey Al's friends, welcome cultists. Good to see everybody. Maticus, Destroy Worlds, White Cyberduck. How's everyone doing? Cthulhu Phaton. Al, which is how I was always taught to pronounce it. It's very good to see everybody. We are breaking some websites on the Portswigger Academy. This is this part of an IDE? John Doe, this is OWASP Zap ZA proxy. It is an open source HTTP proxy that you can use instead of Burp. Cyber by Chase, thank you so much for the follow. JDS Sezen, Ryskill, Ptolemaic, love that name. Triple Drizzle. Ah, I see. How do I feel about Vim? Oh, you don't have to. I feel like use the tool that you want to use. That's always my position. I'm a big fan of Vim, however, and you can even check out on our YouTube channel, since it's been a minute, that during the Hack Summer series we did a whole session on Vim and how to get comfortable with it. All right, so let's see. Most of this we're sorting by response body size, and it looks like we got, let's see, custom tags, nothing, and then body, but that didn't really count. So actually all of these were blocked. So that's unhelpful. Mr. Crumbs, thank you so much for the cheer. Very nice. Man, so we're trying to go after this WAF filter here. Hold up. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. That actually worked. I just didn't notice it. If we give it not a tag, it closes it for us because it's fake tag. That's interesting. But if we give it a real tag, like an A, right, it blocks this off, which is interesting. And it does... Huh. I don't know if we can use that to our advantage, though. So it's blocking almost every single tag that I can think of. In fact, we looked through the HTML reference, and it's blocking almost every tag. I feel like that's not the trick, though. I feel like there's some other thing that we need to do to make this actually work. Okay, body wasn't... So, in fairness, body gave us a 200. Is there anything we can do with that? Would adding attributes... We tried adding attributes. Unfortunately, it's checking the very beginning of the tag string. So... search button. No results. So this actually did become a proper tag in here. It did. So, I mean, oh wait, no, that'll do it for us, right? Because HTML reference body takes no, I need more detail than this. W3 schools it is. I'm pretty confident that references HTML tag reference. That's the trick. You gotta just know where to look stuff up. Body global attributes in event attributes in HTML. On load. That's it. All right, so let's try that. If we can do body on load equals, oh, we're supposed to call print, but I'm gonna call alert XSS confirmed. Attribute is not allowed. Okay. Onload is not allowed. Oh, right, because it was blocking attributes as well. Well, what else we got? We've got on load, on offline, on resize, on unload. And there's also, and remember, it has to be no user interaction. Hey, Husky. Yeah, hate handles. We've done the fuzzing. We used the zap fuzzer. No, we're beyond the script tag. we're into the interesting stuff now. The only thing that seems to work. Let's try on resize. Ha ha ha. Okay. But the problem is that it has to be no user interaction. So we actually did get it to fire. But we have to do it in such a way that it is I think the trick for this one, because so we can get it to resize, and they gave us the exploit server for this, which is kind of a tell. They don't give that to you unless you need it in the Portswigger Labs. So what I think I'm gonna try is it's not really cross-site request forgery because that's not what we're not trying to access like a form submission without a CSRF token or something like that. What I'm talking about here is if we can craft an HTML page that has an iframe that loads the source, right? Then after that, we can resize it, meaning we trigger the resize. So it would be a little bit like this. iframe source equals, and you see how we're doing the alert XSS confirmed? Yeah, no worries. And then that's the on resize, right? But then here's the part that notice that the on resize is an argument, like it's the search parameter, right? That we're sending from the source. However, the next part is why would anyone block an attribute like onload but on resize? That's a great question. And a better question would be, why is anybody blocking attributes and not just setting up, content security policy correctly? Big Snake, thank you so much for the follow. Will CSS sizing trigger resize an event? Shinigami, entirely possible. But what we're going to do here is we're going to do on load equals, and what is it, like document dot, yeah, it's like document dot width equals 1000 pixels. It doesn't really matter what it is. We don't need a cookie, I don't think. Because check this out. Let's just like load up whatever. Yeah, let's do it with W3 schools, right? So if we change like document dot width, nope. Body dot, nope. Style, no. Document dot query selector, body dot style, there it is, dot width equals 1000 pixels. Of course that has to be a string. Okay, that's how we're going to do it. Big Snake, document.body. Yeah, that works too. Thank you. I'm so used to doing it the full JavaScript way. I forget the document is like an actual full out element. Okay, so having figured that out, we're going to unload. So interestingly, we can use document or we can use this. But we'll do document dot body dot style dot width equals 1000 pixels. And I think that's got to be quoted, of course. Let's view the exploit. Okay, I mean, the resize worked okay. Let's try this dot style dot width. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot quotes, didn't I? Okay, let's view the exploit, see what happens. Got him. Now, I think we have to deliver exploit to victim in order to solve this lab. Is that right? Oh, I was like, why isn't it solving? Because I'm supposed to call print, not not alert. So let's deliver exploit to victim this time. That did it. Ooh, that was shockingly difficult. But yeah, it's all just about, it is for everyone who's like saying fuzz, fuzz, fuzz. You're right on target. Just try every single thing. Hey, the flat. All right. Let's close these up. Next. I'm doing well, the Flet. How about yourself? Yeah, with the fuzz, you can at least get a start point, for sure. Reflected XSS into HTML context with all tags blocked except custom ones. You found an SSTITA on challenge with fuzzing, just don't know how to get a shell. Ah, very nice. What was the framework that you got an SSTI on? Jinja. Oh, well, if it's Jinja with a Python backing, you have a lot of options. Like if it's Django or Flask or something, you have a ton of choices. Yeah, so a little off topic, but yeah, at Payloads All the Things, since we're here, um, for server-side template injection for Jinja, the stuff you'd be looking for would be like get an ideas root. You get an ideas root? Okay, so you're like almost home, bud. Uh, you want to be looking for this stuff right here. Dump all used classes. You want to be trying to get this to see what is loaded inside the Python environment. And with that, you should be able to figure out something that you can call from there. Yeah, you're right on the finish line then. If you're able to get this stuff to fire, you're right there. All right. Reflected XSS into HTML context with all tags blocked except custom ones. That sounds bad. I'm going to pause on that one and like let's go do a basic one here. There's no such thing as basic one in these, is there? Reflected XSS and canonical link tag. Let's give that one a shot. User input on a canonical link tag and escapes angle brackets. Please note that the intended solution to this lab is only possible in Chrome. I mean, is Brave close enough? We'll see. Well, I mean, Brave is Chrome under the hood. Is there some special thing about it being Chrome? Yeah, okay. Cool. That's what I was thinking, Al. That's what I was thinking, Al. It's Chromium, but it really wants you to buy some cryptocurrency. We like to blog. All right, do we have a search function? No, we have some view post. Maybe there's a comment feature on this one. AC. Let me blow away the stuff that isn't that in Zap. Comments. Wonderful. Okay. First of all, let's make sure we know all of our language here. I think I know what a canonical link tag is, but let's not guess. A canonical tag is a way of telling search engines that a specific URL link rel equals canonical. Oh, okay. Using canonical tag prevents problems caused by identical or duplicate content appearing on multiple URLs. He's just being nice because I beat him to the Cobalt Strike NIM malware defender bypass. Which was the dumbest way possible. I did, Al. Yeah. The secret was no, it was even stupider than that. It wasn't even the NOPS. The way that I got it working was base 64 encoding the payload 10 times. Absolutely zero elegance to it whatsoever. Yeah, I was gonna go for 11. No, not. I was probably gonna go to 100 at that point. Just like, let's see what the Microsoft Threat Intelligence Center didn't think of. Okay, so canonical tags. That's what we're talking about here, ostensibly. Let's see if we have any of them. Is this PHP? No technology is detected, but Wappleizer wants me to play tic-tac-toe. I'm gonna lose. Yeah. Uh, so that's interesting. There's 4 canonical. Oh, but most of them are just the titles. The only real canonical link is here. Link rel equals canonical, and then post ID equals 1. Okay. Ooh, can we mess with the... Let's see what happens when we go to, like, a random post. Invalid blog post ID. Unhelpful. Hate Handles, thank you so much for the subscription, friend. So we're attacking the home page. On the home page, that injects an attribute that calls the alert function. Interesting. So we're on the home page, so we're not even back to lab home. Yeah. All right, what are we looking at here? Ooh. Dang it. Reflected XSS and canonical link tag. Do we need to learn some more about canonical tags? I mean, it looks like something that you set as the designer. So I'm like, how can you inject on this? Is it... ooh. I wonder if it's set by something that we send. So I wonder if we mess with the host. No, that'll mess us up pretty good. Maybe the refer. I wonder if we mess with the refer, if it'll do something. I mean, it really shouldn't, but, you know, trying everything here. Yeah, show me the text of this. Canonical, HTTPS. Oops, okay. So we're going to open this and resend it with a request editor, and we're going to change the host to that. And show me the text. Okay, so the host didn't mess with the canonical tag at all. Let's see if the referrer does, though. Ah, don't want the hex. Nope. What is it about Chrome that makes this? To assist with your exploit, you can assume that the simulated user will press the following key combinations: Alt-Shift-X, Control-X, and Alt-X. Okay, what do those do? Nothing is happening. I think we need to learn a little bit more about canonical link tags. I feel like we don't know everything we need to know about this. All right, I don't want walkthroughs. Oh, maybe I'm overthinking this again. So let's just go ahead and go to that homepage. No, open. Okay, so here we'll just do a test equals. Aha! So we can modify it. So what do we want to do? We basically just want to get out of the link. So, and it's in single quotes, looks like. So I think you could do this with a canonical link, but maybe. What is Alt X Chrome? What is that? Spell check. I don't think it is a thing. Yeah, Alt X is like. All right, let's just look at everything we have here. No. Looking for Control Alt or Alt because it's Linux address bar shortcuts. No. So I was chasing a hunch that it wasn't a keyboard shortcut per se, but it was an accessibility feature. Alt focuses the page menu. Alt focuses the Chrome menu on the toolbar since these keys are normally used to focus the menu. Okay, disabled world, tell me what you got. This is a lot. Um, sorry, maybe you can add another href equals JavaScript alert. So the thing is, it is designed. This particular one is designed for us to have the user interact in such a way, and it's like there's no keyboard shortcut that exists for this Alt X or whatever. I think we're just being given that because we have to trigger something like that. Um, mm, that Alt X, I don't know that it is. I think it might be Alt sets. Okay, if we're trying to mess with the link, let's look at what the link can be. I think we need to learn some attributes of the link tag here. This is the thing that actually I think most people don't want to hear, which is that to get really good at cross-site scripting, it's actually HTML that you need to know super well, even more than JavaScript. All right, what can we do? Cross origin, hreflang refer, policy, sizes, type. We'll look at global attributes as well as event attributes. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? This needs the magnifier. What is this? DG231Q, thank you so much for the follow. Okay, well this could not be more poorly documented, but look at this. The access key attribute specifies a shortcut to activate or focus an element. The access key attribute must be a single character, a letter, or a digit. Yeah, I think it does. I think it essentially is the keyboard equivalent of a click. Consequently, if we do um, I just want to see if this works. Oh, that was dumb. Um, I have to do %27, right? Test attribute. Aha, okay. So text. That kind of worked. So now what we would want to try to do is yeah, we want to try to do like access key equals like what? X, right? Because it's alt X, and then %20 on click equals alert XSS. We'll double quote that. What does that look like? That looks like an attribute to me. What do you think? Let's give that a shot. Alt X. Oh, wait. Hold on a second. Oh, interesting. Why didn't these get encoded correctly? Okay, turns out they did. Uh, can we get away without the space because of the quote? All right, let's not mess with this. All right, let's just try single quotes just in case that's a whole thing. What? All right, let's view the source for that to see exactly what. Okay, so the alert here was messing us up. The problem was we were like nested too many quotes deep. Richie, it is best to get in the habit of using alert document.domain as it would reveal if the XSS is running in a sandbox or not. I wonder if you can trigger this XSS with another attribute since you have generic attribute injection. I think the problem would be, I think there are a couple different ways you could do a, well, what are you mousing over, Sarsek? It's in the head. is the problem. This is not part of the body. This is in the head. The only thing I could think that you might be able to do is actually mess with the title, because you can inject stuff into the title. But we weren't able to actually escape the tag. Say more about influencing with CSS. Yeah, like we weren't able to escape the tag at all. Just to show that, let's try. Like we do. Yeah, see? We're not able to escape the tag, really. We're only able to escape the attribute. So make it overlay the whole page with height. This doesn't, Zar, this can't be styled with CSS because it's not, it's a DOM element, but it's not an HTML element. That's actually worth discussing. Okay. So an HTML element is what you're usually used to working with in the DOM API. This is usually what you're used to working with, anything that you actually see inside of your web page. But the HTML element is actually a subclass of the DOM element. Or something. Or is it just element? Maybe it's just element. Right, so HTML elements get this. I don't know, access key. There must be like I'm thinking that there's a subclass for stuff that's visible. What is being escaped? Security live. It's just the attribute. I think we've pretty much done what we can with this. It does have on load, but there is no visibility to it. I think we can see that actually pretty well if we go into the inspector. So if we go to the inspector, we go to the head, we go to the canonical tag, right? Display none, I think, is the trick, right? It has no height, it has no width, because it's not being rendered, because it's not within the body. So CSS isn't going to be able to really do much with it, because if you think about, how you write your CSS rules, it's pretty much rendering everything within the body, or at least within. Well, you could do HTML, but the stuff inside the head doesn't really get styled per se. So I think we've pretty much exhausted what we can do with this one, but that's fine. We have others to do. That was interesting. I did not know about that accessibility feature. Reflected XSS. Is this all reflected? No. So Sar, to your point, can you overwrite those things? I don't. Maybe. I mean, you can disable copy and paste in certain ways, right? And that's JavaScript controlled. Okay, let's try this. I think this might be kind of cool. So this thing is ID examples. So we're gonna try this. Um, document dot query selector examples dot add event listener. Copy is an event. Document dot location dot href equals so theoretically if I copy this thing that works great. So the answer is yes, Zara, you can. So let's look at that again. Right, we're adding an event listener for the copy event, and then we're just firing off. This was just a simple relocation, but you could do whatever you wanted. By the way, if you do web stuff and you don't have the Mozilla documentation bookmarked, what are you doing? Very, very, very important stuff. All right. What is location.search? There's a lot of this going on. This is just like, this is a baby one, right? Stored XSS into HTML context with nothing encoded. We haven't done stored cross-site yet. I mainly go there for now for all the obscure web things I want to know more about. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so if this is stored cross-site scripting, presumably we're going to be using the comment functionality. Let's just take a look quickly at how this is working. We'll leave a simple test comment. I have a feeling it might be this one. This one's so obviously we can get around that with if we wanted to mess with that, all we would have to do is turn breakpoints on in Zap. Please match the requested format. What is the requested format? Okay. And of course, we're proxying it so we can capture this and do whatever we want to do here. And I am going to do that. Just to see what happens. 400. Okay, so it is filtering it on the server side. Good to know. So we'll go back and try that again. Ooh. All right, so something becomes a link here. That's the website. We had the email though, right? The email doesn't appear to show up anywhere in the actual comment. So it's the website that we really want to go after. And presumably what we would want to try to do is something like this. Right? Although if they're filtering for URL formats, we may not be able to make that happen. So we have a post request here that we can replay. So let's try the invalid website. Yeah, that's not going to work out for us. That worked. Let's see what we just did. Oh, annoying. So let's see. We got test.com, but then we got a quote. What did we sent it a quote, but the quote didn't end the href, unfortunately. Instead, it just continued on, and we didn't escape the anchor tag. Well, poop. Are we overthinking this one? We'll do the Richie thing. We'll do document.domain. Thank you. Thank you, Tsar. Wait, really? That was the baby one? All right. It happens. Reflected XSS in a JavaScript URL with some characters blocked. In a JavaScript URL with some characters blocked. All right, let's try this one. Expert. Okay. This lab reflects your input in a JavaScript URL, but all is not as it seems. This initially seems like a trivial challenge. However, the application is blocking some characters in an attempt to prevent XSS attacks. Okay, so this is going to be another one of those filters that no one would actually deploy in real life. To solve the lab, perform a cross-site scripting attack that calls the alert function with the string 1337. Sigh. I'm sorry. I find that whole aspect of this culture to be very exhausting. I thought it was very cool when I was 13. Yeah, it might end up being an eval. Or we're going to be doing the it's JavaScript, huh? Yeah. This is reflected. It's reflected, but there's no search function. What are we looking at? It's this is straight up let's see if there's any script here. Obviously there is. Aha. This is the trick right here. JavaScript fetch analytics method post body post ID equals 3 post and post ID equals 3. So we're doing what? We're escaping. Yeah, okay. Oh, wait a minute. No. Name post ID. Missing parameter post ID. This is reflected. Post ID equals 1. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Can we give it extra parameters? And will that still get loaded? Yeah. Okay. So we can give it extra parameters and it'll still get loaded into this. So yeah, that's just about thinking like, how did the programmer write it? If you're looking at something that mirrors exactly what is up here, you know, is it Ron Burgundy? Basically is what you're saying. Like, will it say anything that you put in there? So if post ID has to be there and has to be formed correctly, maybe we can mess with the rest of it. So we'll do a quote and just see if we can comment it out. Well, loaded. We didn't quite get that though. Uh, so that kind of worked. Look at that. We killed the JavaScript string. So then, can I fully break this? Okay, so the brackets are getting encoded, which is annoying. Can we inject into the A tag? Yeah, maybe. Can we overload the href? It's possible. Actually, why even bother? Um, well, on error needs to be triggered, right? So interesting. The equal sign is getting encoded too, which we kind of saw already. All this stuff is getting encoded. All right. And what was the name of this challenge? With some characters blocked. We haven't even gotten to with some characters blocked, unless blocked means encoded in this case. Same difference, I suppose. Slash works. Yes. So no, the curlies were not, but ooh. Oh, wait a minute. I was thinking we could do string concatenation, but we're already outside the JavaScript. Hmm. Do something with the object going to the fetch's second argument. Is comma encoded too? No, it is not. Oh, I see what you're saying. Actually mess with that there. I like that. Um, so yeah. Time to look at the fetch API. Yeah, but were parentheses encoded? Mm-hmm. I don't know about this one. Whoa, that's so weird. Okay, so we're seeing ampersand is getting, right, and test %27. Then we get a bracket. Notice that the parentheses are ignored entirely. I'm gonna just check for inspiration over here on payloads, all the things, just in case I'm forgetting about something. Mm-mm. Do you need the post part? Yeah. The link back is on the post route, so we need that. No, I think. Okay, so space is getting coded. It kind of in a weird way, though, right? Like, that's interesting. Can you try injecting a PHP self? I don't know how that works, Arsec. File name of the currently executing script. Oh. Well, it sounds like we're not doing that because it isn't PHP self, right? It's manipulating it a little bit differently. Between the page you're requesting and the query string. Mm-mm. Not totally following you. I might be doing this very wrong for what you're trying to say. I think we've, you know, we're walking down this path. So we've got post ID here. Oh. Mm-mm. So we figured out that we can. Because look, this. Let's see where this bracket ends up. Yeah, the bracket ends up here, but I'm wondering if that's actually good enough. You know? So from here, once we are out, let's assume for the moment we're outside that object. Um, what would be the third argument to fetch if we are in fact in the third argument to fetch? Let's try it. Just see if we get any interesting errors. You know what I mean? This lab is reflected XSS in a JavaScript URL with some characters blocked. Gotta get out of here soon. But I want to see if we can at least make some headway here. No errors whatsoever. What did this turn into? Yeah, it's still quoted like that. Because, like, if we can get to the dot then, obviously we can't. Well, actually, So a bunch of this actually was encodable, right? Or wasn't getting encoded. Okay. Just kidding. It just removes parentheses. Entirely. That's it. That I think is interesting. Um, can we just give it like? Can we try giving it just like a straight up callback function? Yeah, I don't know. See what that does for us. Like I just want to see errors somewhere. Div class is link back. Oh, back to blog. This so okay, so we're getting errors now. At least we know how to get errors. So missing parentheses after argument. Oh, right, because it got rid of. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. Back to blog. Okay, so what's our error look like? Missing parentheses after argument list, and that is at alert. So check this out. Look at the way this is getting parsed. The post is ending at test correctly. Are you seeing that? And then can I comment out the rest of that line? So yes, I can. Problem is that I'm still minus a parentheses, right? So like think we're close here. So the problem is just that we have a parentheses problem. Um, 1337 is the payload. So if I can't use parentheses, do we have? There it is right here. So throw, interesting. Every way to do a function call, sorry, as far as I know, requires parentheses at some point. Yes, there are other ways to do it, but I think they all require parens. Throw on error equals alert. We're gonna try this. And we have a space issue as well. Which there are a couple of ways that I know of how to get rid of that. Let's mm-hmm. Oh, wait. Shouldn't have had a comma there. Or shouldn't have had a space there. I really want to get this one. Oh, wait a minute. Do we need to invoke this function? I think we might have to do something pretty wild for this. So we're creating this new function. This parenthesis isn't doing us any good at all. So let's get rid of that. And how does throw work? Throws a user-defined exception. Execution of the current function will stop. Throw. Examples. Throw an object. So what are we really throwing here? Throwing on error equals alert. Yeah, I don't know. Friends. I think we're close on this one, but I'm actually out of time for tonight, so I think we're gonna have to leave it there. So thank you so much for hanging out. I know it wasn't the most thrilling of Tuesdays, but this is some advanced cross-site scripting. So more to come on this. And I will be back tomorrow. The plan for tomorrow is we're going to compare some of the NIM malware that we did last week with the Rust versions of the same sorts of things. There's a new offensive Rust library out, and I want to compare and contrast payload size, performance, build pipeline, all those sorts of things, detectability. So you won't want to miss that if you're interested in some of the offensive work that we've been doing here. So until next time, let's see if there's anybody else streaming that we can send you all to. Oh, Chad's on? All right, great. We can give Chad a raid. So thank you so much for hanging out, everybody. Really appreciate it. It was great to see all of you. So until next time, be good to yourselves, be good to each other. I will see you next time.